Books you won't put down. Grab the House of Lazenberry series by author Daniel Webb. Since his controversial interview at the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, the books can't stay on the shelf. Grab the series, The House of Lazenberry, The House of Lazenberry 1970H, and The House of Lazenberry, A Time to Heal. Link in the description box.
What up, everybody? It's the Chakra Doctor. Put your money where your mouth is. June 11, 2022, Houston, Texas. All-day healing event from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Private sessions, group sessions, positive food, positive music, positive people. The link is in the description of this video, and you can call the number in the flyer for more information.
My heart is strong and healthy. My heart is strong and healthy. My heart is strong and healthy.
Right. You know, like I said, we grew up watching you and looking at a black man, a black boy at the time, pretty much about the same age as us. We're growing up with you. It's almost like you took a piece of us into those films because it was so relatable, right? But now that we're adults, you kind of look at it from the outside looking in. And how was your childhood affected from this? Because you're doing all these great things, all these movies coming out. You're looked at all over the world as this great actor, but we all know we love just going outside and playing. We like doing things and just being normal. So how was life for you as just a child, as Brandon Hammond, doing all this time of success?
Man, I'm glad you asked that. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. You know, imagine. So we all know, right, that the development of a child's brain, right, there's nowhere, it's not comparable to an adult.
Right.
But yet you're asking children, right, to try to navigate growing up in an adult industry. That's all you're around. There's a lot that goes on in the industry, y'all. Like real talk. Like, if it wasn't for my mother, her grounding, my family, I'll say this. I see, it's like, you know, when you hear these stories, man, of former child actors and the burnout rate and how high it is, and it actually is something for me. It's like, it's sad because I know we kiki and it's shits and giggles, but I get it, right? Like, I get how that could have affected someone negatively, and all it takes is just one decision, one wrong decision, or just not having this foundation be set, you know, for that to take place. And I could see how that easily could have been me, you know, because you see a lot. There's a lot that you're exposed to. There's adults that, you know, are doing adult things, you know, and it's navigating that can be difficult if you don't have the right foundation.
Yeah.
And for me, thankfully, I had that foundation with my mother and with my family, that I was able to navigate it pretty well, I would say. But I definitely was exposed to stuff that you would be like, yo, this kid is 13 years old. He shouldn't be exposed to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm blessed, man, and thankful, you know, that I had that foundation, bro.
Would you be able to give us any examples without really telling them, you know, implicating anybody of the type of stuff?
You know what? Absolutely.
Right.
I'll put it this way. I'm 13, and let's just say it was a young lady, like late 20s. I'm 13.
Mm-hmm.
Writing love letters that my mother found. Like, and it was like stuff that you be like, this is wild. And it's crazy because, like, it's funny, I've actually never like told this story like publicly, but like a few people know it, like that I know. And it's interesting because I tell the story to dudes and women, and it's different reactions, right? And keep in mind, at the time, as a young man who 13, y'all know that age. That's the age where hormones is raging.
Yeah.
Where, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
my 13-year-old hormone, like, is not processing that this is a grown ass woman, grown at like late 20s, early 30s. I'm 13 years old, y'all. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know,
Yeah.
so it's stuff like that, you know. And y'all can use use imagination a little bit, but, and let me keep it like, look, let me say this. I'm not in no way is this like a Me Too, like this is more just the truth. Like you say, this is just like legit, like, you know what I'm saying, stories. And my story is just one of several, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure.
You know, it's crazy because you said, like, you put it right on the head as a 13-year-old dude, and we sitting here laughing because we know at 13, if you would have had a 28-year-old, the notch on your belt with there is unbelievable with your boys, right?
Come on.
But think about that, like, and now I'm thinking about it with Soul Food, like all those legendary actors and actresses that were around you, you were the star of that shit. It was you.
Yeah.
So you can see how some adult females will look at this like, yo, this dude is fly. But on the flip side, and let's just keep it 1,000, and it's 100% wrong. But if a male actor was to do that to a young female actress, would we be sitting here laughing and joking the same way we do? Or would you be, or would anybody laugh and joke if you were told that story? So how, like, although like, you're not gonna Me Too and you're a real one and that's cool, but it was, as a young man, that's kind of crazy.
Right. And you know what? I'm like, and you dude, it took me decades to even realize, because I'm laughing along with, like, I'm like, yeah, you know, but it took me more maturity, obviously, now as a grown man. I'm not a father, but I want to be. But it took that maturity and just that understanding of how wrong that is and how wrong that was. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely right. Like, you look at it now, like, that's sick, right? Yeah, like, I mean, come on. 30-year-old and a 13-year-old,
right?
Like, who's just now kind of discovering himself, and it's yeah, man, it's definitely something that I definitely can look back on and just like, wow, like it's wrong, and it, you know what, man, it takes the responsibility. What I feel like there needs to be better checks and balances in place. In the industry, man, especially for these child actors, man. You know, because it's truly, like, it is at times you feel like, and what can they get out of you? You know, but do they actually care about the psychological, damage, if you will, that may be occurring, to some of these kids? And look, I am so blessed and happy to have had the career that I've had. Let me make sure to say that. It allowing me to be on platforms like this. But we just also, like you say, have to keep it real too, and have better checks and balances in place for young child actors.